Hello and welcome to Menopause Monday. Now, this is much later than I intentioned for it to be. Is that a word even? I've just been choking on some cinnamon stick because I made myself a really healthy coffee with cinnamon stick because cinnamon regulates our blood sugar and I slept really badly last night and so my blood sugars are a little bit erratic, and also a good helping of turmeric because that's anti-inflammatory. I've just kicked off my 5-day free group in a Facebook group and we're all about anti-inflammatory eating today. But I choked on a piece of cinnamon stick. It wasn't the cleverest idea. However, it is absolutely delicious, so give it a try. Oh, also with soya milk. Now, soya milk, because today's subject is hot flashes in the menopause and the perimenopause. Soya beans contain phytoestrogens. I'm really going to struggle today with all these weird and wonderful words. Phytoestrogens, which can help us balance out the lack of estrogen or the falling levels of estrogen that happens as we go through our menopause. So get that. There's a handy tip. Drink soy milk. Hello, Lynn. Nice to see you. So anyway, I'm going to start. Hot flashes. They are the most common symptom of perimenopause and menopause. Actually, they have been probably the worst symptom that I've had. Certainly going through the during my perimenopausal years, I actually got to the stage where I would be having, they're called night sweats officially, if you have them in bed. In my mind, they're still a hot flush or a hot flash. And I would wake up literally drenched. It was awful. And it's just as well I lived by myself because I would sleep on one side of the bed and then if I woke up absolutely drenched, I'd strip off my nightshirt, put a clean and dry one on, and then I'd get on the other side of the bed. And hopefully would be all right until the morning when I could strip it all off. Hey guys, hey Christine. Oh, lovely to see you, Christine. And I yo-yoed around my bed like that for what went on for about 3 years, I think. It seemed like a long time, and I just thought I hadn't associated with perimenopause because I was still quite young at the time, and the doctors all said, oh no, it's probably not perimenopause, it's just your hormones. Yeah, well, that's probably perimenopause. And it turned out it probably was, because shortly after that I hit my one day, which signifies the menopause because it's only one day in your life. It's the day that marks a year since the date of your last period. And then all the days after that, you're postmenopausal. So you're a run-up in perimenopause, one day is menopause, and then the rest is postmenopausal. So I've got the really attractive title of being postmenopausal. Anyhow, that's the way it is. So certainly hot flashes for me were a real problem during my perimenopausal years, and they are something that I still deal with on a daily basis. They're getting better. I'm also taking daily steps to improve them. I've pretty much, since I've been doing my Menopause Mondays, before I started this, I did a lot of research on menopause. I read a lot of books, read a lot of peer-reviewed research. I love learning, so I'm absolutely in my passion. And actually one day I am going to write a book on menopause, doing it the natural way, but I haven't quite got there yet. And do you know what, the science out there, they all say, well, it might be this, it might be that, but studies aren't conclusive and blah de blah de blah. So I just feel I'm a woman, I'm going through the menopause, I know what's working, I'm tracking what I'm doing, I'm using myself as a guinea pig, and by doing that it's enabling me to think, okay, that works and that doesn't work, and this is what's going to trigger me and that's what's going to help me. So I thought I'd just share my hot tips and strategies with you, and actually they're pretty simple. They're pretty much lifestyle changes. I have noticed that when I'm hungry or when I'm thirsty, particularly thirsty, I can have a hot flash, like, whew, it happens. It's like a volcanic eruption. I can feel it brewing around sort of the top of my chest, and then it's like literally my skin, it's almost like it's on fire. I don't know if any of you remember the Ready Breck advert in the days of old. Thank you for the hearts, and it's really kind of you. On my break, I had 4 hours sleep last night. I'm absolutely knackered. But yeah, the Ready Breck advert in the days of old, where they've got that little glow when the little child goes out in the morning in the cold weather and he's got that hot glow. That's exactly what I feel like when I'm having a hot flush. It's just like, whew. But there are things that help. So I've accepted the fact they're going to happen, but my lifestyle changes have helped them reduce, and I have cross-referenced this. So this isn't just my experience. This is people on the whole who, people that are doing it without HRT, because I am doing the natural process. If HRT works for you, that's fine. I'm not against any you've got to go with what works best for you. But I know there's a lot of ladies out there who don't want to take HRT, and they don't want antidepressants, which doctors are prescribing. It's perimenopause. I know anxiety can be an issue, but that's actually more a lifestyle issue than it is a menopausal issue. I don't know why they prescribe antidepressants. It's just beyond me. Anyhow, that will be a separate chapter in my book. But getting back to the real subject matter, estrogens, which is what I was just started as I was drinking my soya coffee. Edamame, I don't know how to say edamame, the soya beans, the edamame beans, they are very high in phytoestrogens. So by default, soya milk can help you up your estrogen level by a small amount if you're deficient in estrogen, which once your perimenopause is sort of settled into postmenopause, it tends to be that it's the lower estrogen that is giving us the symptoms. And so since drinking soya milk, I think that has balanced out the hot flushes to a degree. Lifestyle changes, I work out every day, or most days, sometimes 6 days a week. Sometimes the program I'm doing at the moment, it's 7 days a week, but every 5 days we have a rest, or a sort of renewal workout. So it's either yoga based or stretching based, something like that. That makes a massive difference because we're designed to move anyway, and it helps us gobble up stress hormones. And when stress of any type, it doesn't matter whether it's stress from fear or from worry or from bad food or from bad drink or from just being too sedentary, because that puts stress on our bodies as well. When we can reduce our stress levels and look after ourselves more holistically, it just equips our body better to regulate our hormones. Now, also, you'll find that if you are very overweight, fat holds on to hormones too. So you might be hanging on to stuff that you actually shouldn't be hanging on to, which is also why obesity and various cancers are very tightly linked. Definitely, if you struggle with weight, you want to try and find a system that works best for you to reduce that weight, so you get rid of that risk, because it's just not worth it for the sake of it. And I know it's not just a matter of eating too much, but there are ways to unravel what leads to that overeating. So cutting out sugars, refined sugar in particular. Again, that puts us into nutritional stress. It's no good for our stomach, our gut health. 90% of our serotonin, which is our feel-good hormone, gets created in the gut. If you are eating a lot of sugars, you're putting your gut into an acidic environment. Well, you're eating an acidic producing food, which makes your body have to work harder in order to find that balance, to balance the alkaline and the acidic food. So sugar and it kills off the healthy bacteria in our gut. We need those healthy bacteria. It's important to eat a daily pre and probiotic so that you can keep your healthy gut bacteria doing what they're supposed to do. Again, that will support you on every level of life, not just if you're menopausal. It doesn't make any difference, but it's about lifestyle changes which are going to help you across the board. And then things like layers. I mean, I wore this really thick hoodie sweatshirt the other day, which was just the biggest mistake because I had a really hot flush in it and I could not get the thing off fast enough. For you girls that are doing hot flushes now, it's just like, you know what it's like. You need to be able to strip off straight away. So I just wear layers. I wear lots of thin layers that are easy to get off. And so if I feel one coming on, I unlayer as fast as I can. And that actually works really effectively. At bedtime, next to my bedside table, I have a little atomizer, little water spray. So if I wake up and I'm just like, oh my God, it's happening, I spray myself really fast. I've also got one in the car because there's nothing worse than being sat in like rush hour traffic and you're hot and you're having this hot flush and you're uncomfortable and you can't get out, and yes, you can open the windows, but it just makes you feel, I don't know about you guys, I feel actually quite yucky when I have a hot flush. And so the atomizer really helps with that as well. At bedtime, sometimes I will put some cold water on a flannel and then literally just dab it with some lavender essence, essential oil. That's lovely. And so when you wake up at night and you're having a hot flush, you can just sort of dab yourself around your neck, and the back of your neck works really, really well. I find also if I do my wrists and forearms and my face, and because it smells so lovely, and of course lavender helps us to sleep, it's very relaxing, so that works really well as well. I think it's just about sort of accepting they're likely to happen, trying to reduce the frequency by healthy lifestyle choices, and then when they do happen, have an approach that's going to knock them on the head fast. I mean, I always drink, right now I have got a big glass of water with me. This is, I think it's my 6th pint today. I love water, I drink it all the time. It makes a massive difference. If I feel I'm going to have a hot flush, I literally just drink a load of water, but I've always got water with me. Some people respond to caffeine badly. I can drink coffee, it's not a problem, it doesn't set me off. Some people respond to spicy foods, again, that doesn't set me off. I love curries, I eat curries loads of the time, and I actually think that the spices in curries are probably better for us than the risk of having something spicy that makes us feel hot and sets off a hot flush. Turmeric in particular is so anti-inflammatory. One of the reasons why I've got it in my coffee right now, and it's one of those spices that ideally we need to try and eat every single day, or try it in your coffee. It's lovely, it's really, really nice. Deep breathing can help a lot of people. That's actually been proven. There are loads of studies that have been done on deep breathing in slowly through your mouth, through your nose, holding it for a few seconds, and then breathing slowly through out of your mouth. And proper belly breathing, so not just chest breathing, really sort of filling up your belly and doing that slowly in and out. So in through your nose, out through your mouth. Several reps of that will help as well. And that does make a big, big difference. So I take daily adaptogen herbs. I've got the ones I take are maca, schisandra, ashwagandha, and I don't know how to say it. It's astragalus. Don't know. Astragalus. It's brilliant. They all boost the immune system. Several of those also help to reduce cholesterol, because I do have genetically high cholesterol. I used to, actually. Since I've had the adaptogen herbs, my cholesterol's in the normal range. But they also help us deal with stressors. And again, if our body's under stress, all our bodies are under stress. Some are under more stress than others. It just helps to make us balance better. It gives us better energy. It helps overcome fatigue, which is also another problem with menopause. It's also very good for your libido and endurance, energy levels. So all sorts of things which are negatively affected with the menopause. I take those adaptogen herbs every single day. And I have to say, since I've started, now when I was in perimenopause, I wasn't drinking my daily shake, which has got the adaptogen herbs in it. But when I started to drink it and started tracking what I was eating and drinking, that's when I noticed the things that work and help. And certainly that makes a big, big difference. I think you can bulk buy packets of adaptogen herbs. You don't have to buy a purpose-built superfood shake. I do, because I'm a coach and it's one of our products, but it works really, really well. But you can go to the health shop and you can buy these sorts of things in the health shop. So I know certainly for maca you can get, and I heard somebody managed to get some ashwagandha the other day as well. So you can probably get the schisandra and also that astragalus. I think that's how they say it. The reason we get hot flashes, they think. There is no conclusive evidence at all. But estrogen has a very key role in how the hypothalamus in our brain works. And the hypothalamus basically regulates our body temperature. So when our estrogen levels are all up and down, then the brain bit, or the section of the brain which controls our body temperature, is all sort of also erratic. Estrogen also has an effect on the vasodilation and vasoconstriction of our blood vessels. So for instance, we vasodilate, our veins come to the surface and get bigger, they dilate. when the body needs to lose heat fast, which causes us to sweat, so that the core temperature stays pretty much stable. Apparently, during the menopause or after the menopause, our core temperature drops slightly. So these systems are all slightly set off, but there is no conclusive evidence out there. So I'm going with the hypothalamus thing, that our estrogen levels are all up and down, and my body temperature as a result is being, changed as well. However, I don't get cold, and I don't think of many menopausal women. I really should have put my teeth in, who get cold. It's just the hot flushes that are a problem. So I think last night I had 4 hours sleep. And to be quite honest, today I've only had, I think, one hot flush when I was doing a previous video in one of my groups. I had another one yet today. So I couldn't really put it down to tiredness either. The other thing at bedtime is to make sure your bedroom is nice and cool, so that if you do wake up, or you can feel one coming on, I probably get 2 a night, I think, but I don't get really sweaty anymore. My bedroom's always cold. I leave the windows open, and I've got a nice thick quilt, but I literally whip the quilt off and I just lie there until I've cooled down enough, and then I put the quilt back over me again, and that's absolutely fine. I think it literally is just a matter of finding out what works for you best, because we're all individual. We all react differently to different food groups and to different stressors. If I were you, I would keep a daily tracker. I would start to track what you eat and what you drink, how much you've slept, have you been to the toilet? Because also, if you're constipated, for instance, you're going to have a backlog of toxins in your body. We technically should be, I don't know how often we're supposed to be going to the toilet, but everybody's bowels move at a different speed as well. So whatever's natural for you and normal for you. But if you're hanging on to stuff for longer than really you should be hanging on to it, then again, that's just causing toxins to stay in the body, which again are going to add to the stress of the body, and it means that the body's got to work harder to combat that stress. So it leaves less energy to do other things which might help you regulate your hormones with the menopause. So if I were you, I would keep a diary and track those basics. So your food, what are you eating, and how much, and what time of day are you eating it? How much water are you drinking? How many teas and coffees are you having? And then when you're having a hot flush or you feel an anxiety spike, you just track those things. Keep a little diary and be like a super detective of your own reactions to your food and drink, and you will find you will spot a pattern. It's absolutely fascinating. I tracked my food when we started one of our nutritional programs, just because I'm a coach and I should know about the programs that we offer. And it's the first time I'd got on the scales for ages, because we daily weighed ourselves for this particular program. It was brilliant. It made me realize rice really doesn't work well with me. Peas, lentils, all the beans, I love all those things, but I don't react well with them. But had I never done that tracking, I would never have known. I still do eat them, but I don't eat quite so much of them. So yes, it's lifestyle. Eat healthy as much as you can. Eat a whole foods diet as much as you can. Avoid sugar and processed foods. Go easy on the alcohol. See if caffeine is a trigger for you. Focus on self-care techniques, whether that's exercise, yoga, deep breathing, meditation, anything that you find settles you is going to be beneficial. And then just have strategies in place, so for when you do have a hot flash, you can pretty much deal with it straight away. And I do think that as you start to work out what works for you and what doesn't work for you, those hot flashes will get fewer and fewer and fewer. So I hope that helps. If you've got any comments, I'd love to hear them, and I'd also love to hear your experience of your menopausal journey. I will be doing my next Monday's just can't talk. Next Menopause Monday, if you've got anything specific that you'd like me to cover, then please send me a comment and I'd be more than happy to do that. I've got some comments from a few of you in the past, so I've got a little list of things I'm building up. I did want to touch on hot flashes though, because I think it's something that a lot of us struggle with, and it's a pretty simple thing to to make a few changes to, and also also manage effectively. So on that note, have a fantastic rest of your Monday, and thank you for sharing this with me. I need to go to bed. I will catch you soon.